Hi everyone. So today is the 4th of March and finally after about a year I'm finally back home in Italy, and today I wanted to show you guys how is the system doing. We have a 4 years old agroforestry plot here. Actually this will be the 5th year, and yeah, things have changed a lot. This year, the past year has been very, very rainy. Also this year, this winter, and where actually in the first 2-3 years, the weather was quite dry. The system suffered quite a lot in the first years, but now everything is establishing, so it's very, very nice. Things have grown quite a lot, and so now actually I'm going through each tree line, and I'm starting to prune back all the fruit trees, of course, and but also this year I'm also starting to select some of the emergent species. I'm chopping them off because it's time, I think, and also because this summer I'm gonna be here for the whole season, so I want to grow vegetables again in between the tree lines, and for that I will need more sunlight to come in the system. Not too much actually, because I've experienced before that in summer actually in Italy it can be very hot, very, very hot. I remember the first 2 years that I was here, we reached like 45 degrees or something, and at least 10 days above 40 degrees for 2 weeks. So that was crazy, and I hope it won't happen this year, but yeah, definitely I'm gonna leave some emergent species, also because I want to see actually, because there is no other temperate climate system that has is reporting like what's happening if you leave all these strata certification things. So for that I want to experiment here, and yeah, so actually I will turn the camera back so you guys can see. Okay, so this is the first tree line. Actually I've been chopping already. I wanted to make the video before starting, but temptation is too strong. And so what I've done, I've pruned back the fruit trees. This is a peach. Actually this tree has been hit quite heavily last year by the, I don't know how you call it in English, but in Italian we call it like a bubble, where all the leaves starting to shrink and have all like little bubbles on it, and then they fall off. In the worst case, also even the whole tree can die. In this case, what happened? So all the down parts was naked, without any leaves. And what happened? It started to resprout from the top. So actually, I tried again to reshape it. So I chopped down quite a lot, but I prefer to have less, harvest than a non like regular shaped tree. It's for the future, so and what I'm starting to do here, we had a poplar, and I'm starting to cut them off, because actually the pattern is one fruit tree every 4 meters, so that's a pair. This is the peach. In between these two, there is every meter there is either a poplar or a willow or a paulonia. And yeah, so every meter, so this one poplar, this is actually a how you call it in English, elder tree, I think. Is that how you call it? And this is another poplar. So what I've done, I chopped down these two, one and this one here, and I'm leaving this one, which is about 2 meters from the fruit trees. So yeah, this is what I've been doing now. This is all the look at this, all the biomass. It's quite good actually. This is more than I think 4 meters of things. This was the stem. So actually, I'm cutting off the stem like this because I don't want this to regrow. So my thinking is now I'm leaving it like this. It will resprout from here, not from the bottom, I hope. So that will allow me during the summer to cut the bark of it, and like let's say 5 centimeters or so. And so doing this, like it in theory it should be drying up completely, even the roots, because poplar can resprout from the root system, but I don't want that. So I'm thinking to do this way and see what happens, because if I would cut it very low, it will resprout from everywhere, I think, from the base but also from the roots. So I'm trying to do this way and then cut off the bark and let it dry in the summer. So here we have a pear tree. Actually, there is a when I came back, I found out that my father I don't know why, but without having any experience on this, he started to prune some of the fruit trees, by the end of the summer, so it was not even the dry period. And here he did a mess, for example. In some other, he also cut some branches. I will show you. And also there was another issue that I will show you later. So again, here this is just a berry. Here we have some strawberries here and there. This one was another alder tree, I think. Yeah, alder tree. But I cut it off because I wanted this one to stay poplar, even though it's not 2 meters away from the fruit tree. But I think I want to see also. Also, this one is a pomegranate, so I think it can tolerate some of the shade. And here there was a willow. So actually, where I planted this 4 years ago, I planted cuttings. So in order to be sure that there were, some trees or the other, I was putting 2 to 3 cuttings in the same place. So now this, I'm going through all that. I'm selecting one, and yeah, just a berry again. This one is actually I don't know the name in English. Negundo maple, is it? No, I have to look at it. But here there was another poplar. This one I'm leaving because I planted it by seed, and I want to see how long it takes to grow to full size. This one is a willow. I already chopped the top branches, because the idea is to have this kind of trees, these emergent trees, just above the canopy of the fruit trees. So you see there is a cherry tree. So just above the level of the canopy, the top of the canopy of the fruit trees, I want to have these trees, and I want to stop them. I don't want to let them grow, more than that. So for me, that's going to be easier to manage it in the future. So what I'm doing, once they reach the level, I'm like leaving at least like 1 meter of canopy, and I'm tipping the branches, and hopefully that will create they will resprout from there, from the top, not from the main stem. And every year or two, then I will go back to chop it again. So this one is a cherry tree. Also here my father came. He cut this one. Maybe it's not too bad, but it's not something that I would have done. But actually this one could be good, because from here, other branches can come out, so they will create a secondary branch, productive branch. So this could be good. Let's see what happens. Here there was another poplar, and here you guys see, actually this year I laid down a tarp, because I just arrived 4 days ago, so I thought to myself that I wouldn't have time to manage the whole system, and plus prepare this. So I thought myself to save up some time, to just buy a tarp and try with that. Also because we had a lot of very strong weeds in between the tree lines, so for that reason I wanted to be sure that for this year I suppressed them a bit. And so here I didn't prune this, so you see how it's looking. You see that these poplars are going in the way of in this case it's the hazelnut. So what we have to do, we have to come in and start to select, cut off the trees and leave the ones that are not a problem, because this is our focus. These are just support species. We are not planting them for harvesting the timber or something. We will be reusing all this material. I'm thinking to rent a shredder, and I will shred all this material into the tree lines. So the idea is to produce, if not all of the necessary organic material for this plot, but at least to provide some, planting our own biomass trees. Can be also grasses, can be shrubs, anything, can be anything. But the idea is that we should be able to provide some of this material from the system itself, not to bring it in from gardeners or whatever, which I could be doing. Actually, I've done so many times, because I was working for a small gardening company, so I could have get all the wood chip for free. These ones are paulownias. These ones they grew quite funny, I don't know why, but they grew very fast. And I'm thinking, even though it's a little bending towards the apricot, this is an apricot tree, but I'm thinking to leave this one. And what I'm thinking is that I will cut this off, and from here it will resprout a new one. So maybe the next year I will select the new one, and I try to keep it as straight as possible. Paulownia here is doing very well, and again, you see the top, I've been chopping it off, and this one I will cut it off. So just above the apricot, they will resprout again. This one is an apricot. This one I pruned it already. This one, yeah, I'm leaving it. It's a willow. Here there was a poplar. Actually, this is, yeah, I cannot see properly, but it's 4 years old, I think. So here there is one tree missing in the middle. So that one also is very close to the apricot. It's about 1 meter, but I will try to leave it anyway and see what happens. Probably the same for this poplar. I will, cut off the branches and leave it. I want to experiment. This is another hazelnut, and yeah, so here we have the poplars and the willows all together, another poplar, and here one Paulonia. Here, in this case, I will leave only the Paulonia, which actually is very nice to see. You guys see, this one was a previous stem, which for some reason or the other it never really grew well. And so last year I think I was cutting it off here, and this new thing started. Actually, sorry, 2 years ago I was cutting it off here, so this one is 2 years old. But then last year a new sprout came in, and we left it there, and you guys see, just 1 year. It's crazy. It's very impressive. Already I cannot hold it already. Just 1 year. Paulonia is amazing, and it's a very soft material, so I think it's very good for creating compost. Doesn't require too much to go through the process. So here there is a poplar, and here there is a plum. So now this one I have to prune still, but you see that the poplar or the plum is they're getting on each other's way, so definitely the poplar will win. So we come in and we select, and the poplar has done a great job until now, so now it's time for it to go. And anyway, we leave the Paulonia, which also another thing, Paulonia, because it has very big leaves, there is some people saying that they're trying to use Paulonia to protect the fruit trees from the hailstorm, because here actually every year we have hailstorms, and it's getting worse and worse every year. Many people here, they use nets, plastic nets, but I would like to avoid that, because also it's quite expensive. And so yeah, they are trying with Paulonias, and I'm very curious to see if that can work. That would be very nice. And here we have another line. So this one was a peach. In this area, peaches are not doing very well. I think it's because it's too humid, and especially in the past year, so they all get some kind of disease or the other. I think because the soil is very anaerobic. There is not much oxygen. This is clay soil, so it's even worse. Even though the beds are raised a bit, they struggle. I think for what I'm thinking is about this, that it's too anaerobic during the winter. So here we have poplar. Actually, this one I will replace this year. Here we have apples. This one has produced quite a lot this year, and the same here. You see the poplar is kind of in the way, and there we have willows. This one is very nice. I would like to keep this one, but let's see. Maybe I will keep both, 1 and 2, and once the peach will start to grow quite a lot, then I will cut it off. So here again, this one we will cut. This one is currant, actually. Currant, doing quite well. This is a pomegranate. Again, you see the poplar, so it's time to go. Yeah, same here. This is very packed, and I don't think the cherry is liking this. So definitely the poplar has to go. I will leave this one, which I don't know in English the name. Elm, I think elm is called. This one grew by itself, by seed, and many of them have a disease, which I don't think it's the case on this one. But yeah, it's a native tree here. It grows in the wild. It's a poplar. Probably I will carry it off also. It's very big already. I mean, very big. It's starting to get big. They grew a lot, much more just in this year. I think they filled up with water a lot. So actually, yeah, I'm pruning also the edge. It was quite messy. I'm pruning it. This one has not been done yet. So I will show you the other side also. Okay, so we start from here. There's a pitch, another pitch has been pruned already. This first line is the worst of the whole property, I think. I don't know, for some reason or the other. Maybe I didn't work properly the soil in the beginning, so that's the result. Yeah, you can see the trees are all smaller, and here also, here we have a pear, but I don't know, my mom or my father, last year I was chopping it here because I wanted to make a new canopy, because it struggled in the first time, so I was, you know, cutting down there first to let it regrow quite strongly, and then last year finally I was able to chop it here, and this was the result. But also there was one stem here, which one branch, which was in a very good position, I think, but then someone took it off. And yeah, also on this field, this summer my parents they cut the grass off with the brush cutter, and they damaged a lot of trees, and I don't know if they can manage to heal these wounds. So here what I'm thinking, I'm not sure if here I will take away also these poplars because they are small. Maybe if they are too small I will leave them for one more year. This is a pomegranate. Yeah, this poplar is okay, but many of them are not. This one is a walnut. It grew by seed. It's bigger than the willow. This is a cherry. You see, it's not doing very well here. Yeah, willow. Another peach has been pruned already. I wanted to prune them first because they are already putting out the flowering buds. Actually, this tree doesn't look too good, honestly. It's not so vital, I don't know, compared to the other ones. Let's see what happens. But this one last year produced peaches, so let's see. This one also I was showing in the other video, in the Italian video, that I think my mom thought that this was a poplar, so she cut it off. Oh, I did the same thing actually last year. I was, tipping here, and because I wanted to make a new canopy, so all these nice branches were there, and she cut it off all of them. Now I have to do it again. Luckily here it looks very vital, so let's see. But it's getting very high. It's already up to my chest. Let's see if from here there are still some buds, dormant buds, that they will resprout. Then I will leave it, and I will leave these branches instead of this one, because this one is getting very high. Here, hazelnuts. I think this year they will produce. They will start to produce. They already have their leaves out. This is a Paulonia. I think it's the biggest that we have in the property. It's very big, very beautiful. And this one is nice. We can see where I cut the branches off last year. It was there, and there. and you see, you know, the result. It's very good actually. I think it's, yeah, more than almost 3 meters, 3-4 meters of new growth in just one season. It's very, very good. Here there was a plum that I planted new last year. It's a new tree. Because I was not here, actually we should have removed this one, this sucker. But I will try to leave this 1 and 2 branches. Maybe even this third, yeah, branch, and see. Because what I've done, I cut it very low. I wanted to see what happens if you cut, you know, the tree very low. Also here my mom came. I can see it because she cut very, very near to the to the trunk. I told her not to do this. I don't know if this one can heal now, because she cut off the, you know, the ring where the tree can close the wounds. Here poplar. Here another hazelnut. In this area, hazelnuts, they grow quite well in nature, so I'm hoping that they also will grow well. They will produce. Here another Paulonia. I did the same here. I was cutting it off there because actually it was not straight already. Oh, sorry, there, and here, yeah. So also this one is sprouted very well, but also it is sprouted from here. A very straight branch. So I might think to chop this off and keep this one and tip it there somewhere there, because if possible, I would prefer to have a longer straight stick. This one is a apricot. This one had a very strange shape. Maybe during a storm or something happened, I don't know, during the summer. So I had to chop it back in you know, in a bit of a risky way. But I think it will be okay. Again, I'm preferring not to harvest yet so much, but I'm trying to set up the geometry of the plant properly so that, you know, it will produce for longer and will be alive for longer. And yeah, another hazelnut, another Paulonia, beautiful. This one even more, I think 4 meters already. Yeah. So what I will do this year, again, chop it down there, and there. Chop it. Here is a plum. Here we can see actually, because there was no poplar there, so this is already 2 meters. So it would be pretty much like this. I think it's a good distance. 2 meters, even less probably, 1.5. And yeah, probably, yeah, if I will do a new system, I will try the distance between the fruit trees to shorten it a bit to up to 3 meters. So you see now it's 4 meters, it's very far away. I think it can be 3 meters and one emergent species in between, so it will be 1.5 meter. And with that, I think, because now you see, you see the branches are not really going on top of the fruit tree. So what I was saying before about the Paulonia, you know, to use Paulonia to protect the fruit trees, might not be working. So maybe we have to shorten the distance between the fruit tree and the Paulonia. Yeah, these are all thoughts that you know, I'm looking now. This one was it's a peach, but I was doing the same thing, trying to cut it very short. But I think what happened that this branch here was not too young when I bought it. It was a bare root. So I think what happened is that the buds were not good anymore. that were not vital, and only a few of them sprouted. But also because I was not here, nobody selected them, and so these two very good, actually. I mean, they grew very well. It's more than 1.5 meter, but there are two problems. They first of all, they both come from the same spot. It's two buds that they grew, and then they didn't separated. But if I leave this, it's not good, I think, because at some point, here there will be a crack or something. And once the branch, keeps growing, here they cannot join together properly. So I have to select one of them, but you see how they are curved so much. So I don't know what to do. These other branches are not very. Actually, these are productive branches already. So I don't know if I leave this, what will happen. Yeah, these are. But about the vigor of the plant of these two branches is very. I mean, the result is very good. This one could be producing already this year. But I think I will cut them off. Let's see. I'm still not too sure about this. So here we have apple. Also it grew a lot this year. It grew, a lot, and it produced also. This one produced. All the apples produced quite well, and they have no issues with not too many issues with the pest. While the peaches and the plums and apricots, they have. Also for the late frost, they suffer a lot. This one is pomegranate. Then I will have to come up and leave some space. Look at this new sucker. Yeah, this one we can clearly see. I think for me it's clear. This poplar is very big, and just next to it a cherry, but you see it's not really happy. It's struggling, I think. So definitely I will come and cut this off and leave. Here there is nothing in the middle, so I'll probably leave that one. But yeah, what I see is cherry, they don't really like to be shaded too much. It's my assumption, so maybe I might be wrong, but what I see is this, I think. Yeah, this one is funny. It's alder tree, and this is a willow. So this one is planted by cutting. This one was a seedling. You see how much it grew? Nothing. And you look at the willow, very good. This one again, I was planting a new tree last year, a peach. Also didn't grow. I don't know for what reason. Because I planted it and then I left, so I don't really know what happened. But I will try to plant it again this year, because I want to have peaches. And this one, another apple. Also this one produced last year. And also this one is damaged here. The bark is damaged. I hope it won't be anything serious. So okay guys, for this side is all. I will take you to the other side. Yep. Actually, one moment. So these guys are the best signal for knowing like what's happening in the weather. So during the winter they go in dormancy, they go under the leaves and they stay there for the whole winter. But as soon as the spring is coming, they get out of the dormancy and you know, they start to how you say, they want to have babies. They start to reproduce, and so yeah, these are, you know, if I'm not sure whether the winter is over or not yet, I just look at them. Usually they know very well. If they are out, it means that the winter is over. So it's good time for starting to prune, you know, and to start preparing things in the farm. And this one is a mulberry. I planted it at the same time. This one is a cherry I planted last year, a wild cherry. This one another mulberry, white mulberry. Last year I tip it here, and this is the new regrowth. It's not too bad. This one is a peach, last year planted. It's okay, could have been a bit better, I think, but it's okay. It did all this, yeah, about 70 centimeter of new growth, 50, 70. And yeah, the problem is that these trees that I got, they were not so young, so they struggle a bit. You see how big already is the main branch. But yeah, because I arrived late actually. So okay, now I take you to the other field. So this field was supposed to be something a bit different than usual. I wanted to have some different species that I was not sure whether they could grow here or not. So starting from here, I pruned it already because actually it's pumping already quite a lot. This one is a what do you call it? Almond tree, which usually grows in the south of Italy. I wasn't expecting to grow here that well, but actually maybe you can watch the Italian video on this. Still, if you look on the channel, there will be another Italian video, and you can see it before I pruned it, and it was very messy. A lot of new sprouts, new growth from the last year. So it grows very well, maybe even too vigorous, and it produces also quite a lot. So I'm very happy for that. I really love to have almond trees. It looks to me that it doesn't like the shade at all, because where you see all these branches that I chop off, they were all stuck in the middle. So where there was a lot of shade from those kind of branches, all the other little branches, they started to dry off. So I'm supposing that it doesn't like also to be shaded too much. Yeah. So this one actually I planted this 1 year later compared to the other one. So this one is going now to the 4th year. So this one is persimmon. Is that how you call it? I forgot the name in English. But yeah, I struggle a lot to let it establish, even though we grow quite a lot in Italy of these ones. But I don't know why this one is struggling here. And yeah, this one is Nashi. Nashi is doing very well, at least this variety, because actually I will show you the other variety died. But also here you can see, guys, they damaged it when they were cutting the grass. This one looks like it's healing already, I hope. And this one produced a lot. Last year it produced a lot. Was full. Very good. This one, it's loquat by seed. It's growing very well. I did not even plant it, I think. I just was eating a fruit and dropped the seed there, and it grew back. It grew, by itself. This one is Pakistan mulberry, which supposedly it's not really frost tolerant, but this one was struggling a bit in the first years when the branches were small. But now that the branches are all big, they are all good, because here actually the winter can be very, very cold. We can go below 8, sometimes very rarely, but sometimes even to -10. But usually -7, -8 we can go down to up to that every year for one day or two, not the whole winter. But so yeah, I've seen it struggling a bit in the beginning, but now it looks like it's it's doing very well, and it's super, super sweet, maybe even too much. Very sweet, the fruit. This one is a Paulonia, 3 years old, 3 years, yeah. And this one was it's nice. I took a root from the other Paulonias that I have there, and I just planted a root without even a single stem or nothing, and in 1 year they were already like 4 meters high. Very, very good. So this is another way to multiply Paulonias trees. This one, it's olive. I planted this last year because here I was trying to grow popo, I think is that how you call it, Asimina triloba, it's the scientific name, but I was not successful. So instead I've tried to plant olives, which they are not really like something that we usually grow in this here where I am in northern Italy, even though my neighbor is growing many of them. But it shouldn't be the proper region. Usually you see it more in the south of Italy. Here there was a jujube, I think it's called, jujula, it's in Italian, but also was not doing well. So yeah, I was planting it again once again last year, but then it died. So now here I have to think of another tree that I could plant, which is exotic. So I will still try to experiment on new trees. Paulonias. This one has been damaged, I think, by the wind or something. Something broke many branches. This one, another olive tree. For me, they're not doing too well, honestly, here. But let's see. These ones, I'm very happy to see this. These are walnuts by seed. Actually, I was planting 3 years ago, or 4, yeah. When I first implemented the system, I think some like 20 seeds, I think, at the beginning, and then every year I was like selecting half of it. So now there are still 1, 2, 3 left, and this one looks like the best to me. And this year I will leave only one out of these 3, so it's very good. I'm very happy. And this walnut came from a very big tree that was there very near to the net, to the fence. So the neighbor, we were afraid that the tree was so big, and we thought it was better to chop it down, also because I needed to plant these 3 lines, so it was, I could have more sunlight in. And so before we chop it down, I waited to get the seeds, and this is the result. Also here my mom came. I can see it from here. But I think walnut is very strong. She shouldn't have any problem on this. Actually, this one looks better. It's straighter than the other one. So this year, because they are already at least 3 meters high, 3 to 4 meters, maybe 3, yeah, I will cut the top of it quite high, because I want to have all the other, you know, trees below that, and I don't want it to shade anything, even though this is on the north facing. So if I would have placed it there, for sure in the future I would have problem with the shade. But this one is north facing, so over that side there is nothing except that big wall, sorry, what do you call it, oh, I forgot all the English names. Anyway, so yeah, and also some people is saying that they walnut. So actually, some people is saying that the walnuts have allelopathies properties. So that means that they can release some chemicals via the root system, which can kill other trees around it. So for this I'm not sure. I've seen even there, like you can see walnuts, that's a walnut growing in the wild, and there are things growing underneath. I think if it's a monoculture like eucalyptus, yes, maybe there might be allelopathies properties releasing in the soil. But if it's in the right context, I think there won't be the need for the tree to do that, I think. Yeah, that's, yeah, but also I'm not sure about this. So actually from this year, also here I will grow vegetables I never planted here before, so I will grow them. And I was looking the other day, you guys, look at this. I don't know why they done this, but actually now there are just 2, but the other day there were many. Actually, you see these white things, they are earthworms. It was full of it the other day, just the other day. Maybe they went there to drink some water, I don't know, then they couldn't come out. I don't know why they went there. So this one, it's I also don't know the name in English, I'm sorry guys. It's like Azzervolo, it's called in Italian. It's something like an apple. It's an old, this one, it's an old variety, very native to this climate. It's some kind of a apple, very small, very little, and the people in the past used to have it all over, but now it's you don't see it anywhere now. So there is a nursery that sells old varieties of trees just not too far from here. So yeah, all the fruit trees varieties that I have, actually they are all old varieties from this region. So this one also, it's an old species from this region. This one actually I tried to plant a few artichokes. So last year they produced, I think also this year they will, I think. This one also, Sorbum domestico, yeah, I think it's the scientific name, Sorbus domestico. It's also a native plant that people used to have here and there in their farms back in the days, and now nobody's growing it anymore, because the fruit is very I don't know how to say. It has like some kind of a glue thing if you don't wait for it to get ripe. But even then, the taste is not too nice. But it's, you know, it's some kind of a fruit that the people used to eat in the winter, or used to make jams out of it. So I was curious to have at least one in the farm here in my home. So yeah, I'm happy that I have it, and it's growing quite nice actually. It's growing very well. Here there was an ashi which passed away. I think when I bought the seedling wasn't too nice already, too good. I forgot which variety is that one and which is this one, which was this one. But they both, the nashi needs to have a cross, in pollination. So I needed to have two different varieties. This one has always been very weak. That one was very good. But I'm gonna plant it again this year. Soon I will go and buy, actually. So I can replace it. This is a loquat, grafted loquat, so it produces bigger fruits. For some reason or the other, I cannot let it grow straight, this tree, always leaning to some place or the other. But it's growing quite good. It has some yellowish in the leaves since the beginning. I don't know why. But loquats, they grow well here. Many people they have in their house. And this one is Nespulus germanico, I think. I don't know the scientific name. I think it must be something like this. It's also another wild native tree from this area, temperate climates. But this one is the variety from Germany, so it's a bigger variety. Germanic Nespulus, I think, or something like that. And it's also growing quite well, and it produces every year. It's been producing a lot. Also, this fruit it's a little weird. I mean, you have to wait for it to get ripe, for many weeks, and there are quite a lot of seed inside. But I remember my grandfather, when we were young, he was taking to the park, finding some of these wild trees and eating them, and they were the Italian variety, so it was even smaller, the fruit. But I remember the taste was so good, so yeah, I wanted to have it once again. These ones are hazelnuts. I think this year they are good. They look very, very nice. Usually there is a bug eating the shell, and then inside will be empty, will be all eaten up already. These ones, they look good to me. It's a bit of a mess, this hazel tree, but yeah, it's producing sometimes. And here there was the big walnut. It was very big. Now the fungus are eating it. So it was very nearby to the fence. We didn't want to have any problems with the neighbors, so we cut it down, but instead we planted many other trees. So I think it's all for today. I will keep you updated, and probably make another video on, at the end when I manage the whole thing. And yeah, I will keep you updated. Okay guys, thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoy to watch these videos, and I will see you on the next one. See you guys.